If you don't understand, or if you don't elevate your mind above the fuckery that you're always constantly getting from reality, then you're going to take things face value for what it is, and you're going to let them destroy you each and every single time, back to back. Even in the Abrahamic religions, it always talks about how this world is an illusion. Do not fall for illusionary. And there's always this constant notion of like, this world is not what it is. And people always fall into a trap. Like, whole time you're in jail, like, free you, like, free whoever is watching. So let's actually talk about how to ignore the fuckery out of reality when it comes to your manifestation or whatever you're trying to, like, bring into reality, even what your aspirations are. So let's get into it. I am going to be covering 3 core principles that are going to be mind shifting, life shifting, you name it. Let's get into it. I want you to internalize this shit like it's a religion, like it's your religion, like it's your name. You know when people call you a different name and you don't respond, but when they call you by your actual name, you actually respond. I want you to internalize it like it's that deep. People are constantly reacting to your energy, or sometimes you are reacting to someone else's energy. And let me give you a prime ass example to back whatever I'm trying to say. So cool. I know all of us have been served by the people that work and check out customer service, hospitality roles, or whatever the case is. And even though you're standing in the same line, let's just say there's 4 to 5 people, I know all of us have been in predicaments where certain people who are serving like the customers, right, are extra nice for no reason. They get the most utter respect, they get treated extra nice, and they are just so attentive and they're so nice, or whatever the case is. They're giving like top tier customer service. I know all of us have seen people like that, like, don't even front. Like, I know all of us have been there, done that. But there's also people on that same line. They look no different to us. Literally identical. Like, you can't really say anything off about them or whatever. But they get treated completely different. And I was just thinking to myself, like, it must be an energy thing, because I came to the conclusion people who have high levels of self-belief, high level of confidence, high level of self-worth, they almost position themselves in a way where like their energy speaks and it almost eases out that information or that vibe where like other people can pick up on it, and it's like they mirror to them what they already have. You know what I'm trying to say? It was almost very paradoxical for me to like see that in 4K and like understand it, because like natural, like day in and day out, I'm a very observant person by natural default. So like I would read body languages. Like, guys, I would read body languages and I would know what certain body languages mean, even when people are standing. Like, guys, I should be a psychologist at this point, because the way I be reading people's body language, and it's very, very revealing. But that specific situation, even like how someone on the same line can be treated so different compared to someone who is also on the same line, just made me realize how your energy, your frequency, your presence, your aura, whatever you want to call it, almost kind of like baits you out before you even speak. And I know all of us have been in so much predicaments where like, whether when we speak to people and we kind of know how like things are going to turn out, or like where things could go if you have a chance at like persuading the person, or whatever the case is. It's kind of crazy, but it really gets like that. People perceive you how you perceive yourself. And it's funny that I say this. I know all of us have been in predicaments where like we would be so harsh on ourselves, like something small, like wrong, what that we might do, or we might forget something, whatever the case is, right? Small micro things, like sometimes it might not even be that deep. Sometimes we might go off at ourselves, but then again, with that same energy and that same voice and that same inner dialogue, when someone else projects that shit to you, just because they're outside of you, why is that any different compared to how you speak to yourself on a daily basis? You know what I'm trying to say? I find it very ironic, because it's like we demonize people outside of us, but it's like the whole demon is you. But like, real talk, it's always said, treat people how you want to be treated. But more important than that, treat yourself how you want others to treat you, because it always starts with you. Trust and believe that. If you don't have anything going for you, and if your life is shambolic and it's not giving, and you hate your life, and worst case scenario, you hate yourself, let me give you some game, because I feel like this is the only game you have until you can have a stepping stone, so you can start, you know what I'm trying to say, taking step by step and start climbing. So let's get into it. You need to capitalize on your mornings, more specifically when it comes to your emotional base. So let me paint you a picture, right? One thing that I have noticed, like on a consistent back-to-back basis, is if I start my mornings very erratic, chaotic, Like from the moment that I literally blink my eye to the existence of opening my eye to life, like quite literally, if I have that shit not patterned when it comes to my own self, when it comes to my own life, I have noticed that that theme almost follows for the rest of the day. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it. If you know, you know. If you start your morning very chaotic, very people in your ear, like I can't make this shit up. I know all of us have been in predicaments where like I have done this so many times where like if I wake up with no morning routine, my days would finesse me so quick that I wouldn't even finesse it or milk it because I was milked by it. You know what I'm trying to say? It's actually kind of crazy. And if you know, you know. This is why it's so important. If you don't have anything going for you in your life and your life is just not giving, worst case scenario, you're struggling, you just hate your life and you just want to be in a better predicament. And I feel like the only thing you can only capitalize on to gain momentum, if you know, you know, is your morning routines. Your routine almost has to heighten the emotional state that you want to always be in. So, for example, I'm the type of person where, like, by natural default, I have to be relaxed. If I'm not relaxed, I'm almost very, like, I think a lot, I'm very anxious. So, what I have noticed that worked best for me is because I'm the type of person, the more relaxed I am, like, the emotional base or the emotional state that I need to always capitalize on every single day is being more relaxed, more detached, more calm, more like kind of nonchalant, but just very, very, like, very relaxed. That is the emotional base that I have to always heighten. Because, listen, like, imagine someone tells you you have nothing, you don't have status, you don't have money, you don't have fame, you don't have recognition. The only thing you have is to create momentum from the emotional state that you're constantly giving out to reality. And I have noticed if I don't constantly like wake up in the morning and I literally don't do anything crazy, I literally would wake up, meditate for 25 minutes because I'm 25 years old. You know, it's such a wholesome number to be meditating on. And then after that, go in my merry way, read a book. Not a book. I read Kindle. I read like 4 pages, call it a day, start my day from there. But I've noticed if I don't do that micro habit of literally meditating for sometimes I don't do 25 minutes. Sometimes I do 15 minutes or 18 minutes. Because, you know, I'm born in the 18th, so it just makes it wholesome. But that's like if I'm trying to force my brain when it's doing a mad thing, like if my mind doesn't want to like listen to me and I have to like tame my ego, then I do that. Worst case scenario. But at the end of the day, like putting in that 25 every single day, it really does bits. And I've noticed, like, jokes aside, I've noticed that, like, the way I go about my day, the way I think, my decision making, all of those things become so easier and almost like butter. Everything just falls into the right place because I make it easy for myself by putting myself in a position that I would want to be in, regardless when it comes to where I want to be and who I need to become. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not about who you are right now. It's about who you're trying to become in your current moment in the right now. So more important than what you do right now is who you're trying to become right now. That is the $1,000,000 question. I know all of us have been in predicaments where we wanted to tell a loved one, a sibling, a parent, whatever the case is, like, yo, like, just please implement meditating for like 5 minutes. Even if it means in 1 week you have that one merry day where you can meditate for 5 minutes, just do it. Like, it's not that deep. But when you have parents or siblings or whatever the case is who are constantly operating from the survival mode every single day, go getter, doing this, doing that, but at the end of the day, you're preaching like, please meditate for like literally 5 minutes. I'm not asking you to do the uttermost, literally 5 minutes. 60 seconds times 5, that's all I'm asking for. And it's for your own benefit. It's not like something that you have to pay. It's not something that you have to like dig holes under the ground. It's something that's already accessible to you. But I've noticed people who are in survival mode, even on the days where you think they would relax, like Saturdays, like weekends, right? Saturdays and Sundays, you would think, all right, cool. If I was in your shoes, if I was in your predicament, I would like go to the beach, bond with nature, do something. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, do something. But 9 times out of 10, it's like they're constantly working, they're constantly cleaning, they're constantly still in that, what's the word? In that cyclical cycle of being in survival mode. Like, they are no different to like going to work Monday to Friday, even though they're not getting paid. It's like they're still in that same phase, in that same state. And it's so sad because it's like, I would literally tell my mom, like, go to the beach, go relax, go for walks, bond with nature. And it's like, they see what you're trying to say, but it just goes from one ear to the other. A lot of people don't have the privilege to relax day in and day out, or let alone once a week. So you need to be grateful that you even have the ability to relax, because I personally believe it's a privilege. Everyone has it, but everyone doesn't utilize it. That's the last but the most important thing, which is the cherry on top, is people take phases and make it a life sentence. Whole time it was nothing but a phase. I know all of us have been in predicaments where like we were literally getting hella L's, taking hella L's back to back, and we were thinking like, damn, like it's as if like it's like as if God is trying to beef me. Like, what is going on? Like, am I hated? Am I like on God's wanted list or something? Like, what is it? But then I came to the realization that like the more things piss you off, the more you need to start understanding that it's nothing personal when it comes to you, especially if you're constantly reacting and you're constantly letting whatever you see externally kind of like alter you and change your POV and how you feel about whatever is happening to you currently based on your situation. Literally take a toll on your mental health or whatever the case is. 9 times out of 10, like you want to kind of see life or reality or whatever happens to you, like it's not that deep. Just don't be phased. The more phased you are, the more unstable you become. And just like a tree, you must be rooted. One thing about trees, let me tell you this for free, yeah? One thing about trees, there's like a tree over there. One thing about trees, even though they come in different sizes, shapes, colors, different branches, all of that, one thing about them, yeah, they're all rooted. You have to be so rooted that even if a wind tries to come your way 100 km per hour, per second, whatever the case is, I haven't seen a tree, like maybe I did, but like trees are so rooted that like they will not fall. They'll only fall when they are like old and shit, but they would not fall. So you have to be like a tree. You have to have your own inner tree where you don't let shit phase you. And if you do, you need to really work on that and understand what is the root. Why do you feel like you're unstable? What is it that makes you unstable day in and day out? Tackle it, whether it's a belief, whether it's what, you know what you need to do. There's one thing about being ignorant, because people say ignorance is bliss, but there is one thing about knowing certain shit and you're still standing or you're still not doing anything about it. If you know better, you have to do better. I know the version of you right now that is watching this video in this current moment, with the beliefs that you have, with the energy signature that you are operating, or whatever the case is, with the aura that you have right now. This version of you right now knows certain things that the 6 months ago version of you didn't know. And for you to know that and not act upon it, or you don't want to like do anything about it, that's on you. That's your business at the end of the day. Self-awareness plus knowing what you need to do and you're still trying to be ignorant equals default reality, default everything. And it's like, why are you asking for more? There's an error. Go back, fix up, then move on to the next. So there's a sense of responsibility that you have to be responsible for. That's, guys, I'm not even trying to preach, but like it really does come out like that. So yeah, that's important. Like, don't forget that. Tattoo that shit on your forehead if you have to. Self-awareness and knowing what you need to do. Yeah.